Hello everyone. So today in this video we'll talk about custom API. What is custom API? Why we use them? Its purpose? How we can create it from the start? How we can deploy it? Test them? Okay. So we'll cover different methods, tools, and the prerequisites in a detailed and step-by-step manner in this video. So here currently I have opened the page of Microsoft Learn itself here, which shows the different ways and to create and use a custom API. So in this video, we are going to see the different ways of creating the custom API, which is using the plugin registration tool, Power Apps with code with solution files. So I'll be covering each way in a different part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4 video with a detailed way, each and each step. Okay. And to give you a glimpse, I'm going to create a API and I'm going to register, I'm going to invoke it using the Power Automate. So here for your example, I have already created a sample one, which is doing nothing, but it's showing the all the records created today. So here you can see case name and case. I'm just showing the two fields, case name and case title. You can currently I'm filtering it by today only, whatever the records are created today. You can show a million record also based on the criteria or month or whatever you want. Okay, so we are going to see the records here in the Power Automate. You can give the response using strings or objects, whatever. Okay, now coming here in create and custom API. Okay, so here first let's understand what is custom API. So custom API, it is nothing but a application programming interface. It is a way for developers to create our own interface, which can help us to expose the specific functionality of our app or of any system to the users or any service. Okay, so it is like a tool which allows the developers to make their own web API on any platform. Okay, and we can it also helps us to what do you call that, enable integration with the different external systems. Okay, so right now I'm going to create a custom API and integrate with the Dynamics 365. So in simple terms, it allows all the developers to create the API and handle the what do you call complex business logic, and so whatever we want to show to the users or to the external systems. Okay, it also it helps in prevent in the security manner. So now there are total four ways of creating a custom API. If you come here, they have already mentioned plugin registration tool, Power Apps with code and with solution files. So plugin registration tool. So before moving forward, there are some prerequisites for creating a custom API. So here I'm going to talk with the related to the Dynamics 365. The first thing we need is we need to have a Power Apps license. Okay, because we'll be using Power Apps, basically model driven app. Second thing is you need to have the license of Power Automate because you'll be using some connector. The third thing is you need to have a plugin registration tool and Visual Studio. So we'll be using Visual Studio to write some plugin code, some business logic, and to register that we need plugin registration tool to register that assembly. And after that we are going to create a response parameter, request parameter, and all using plugin registration tool only. So the prerequisites are Power Apps, Power Automate, plugin registration tool, and Visual Studio Code. These are the things which are required. Now here in the four ways, I'm going to cover each four ways in different four videos. I'll be covering first the Power Apps because it is the easiest one to understand. Once you understand this, you'll be able to understand all of them. Okay. So Power Apps will be part one, then part two, part three, and part four. So before moving here, if you want to learn more on the Dynamics 365 contents and all, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is Power Dynamics, and you can see there are a lot of videos uploaded related to the PCF, DocuSign templates, SSRS, virtual entity, lot of things. So you can just go there and have a glance. Okay. The second thing is if you are looking for some code, source code, and also I put all those codes in my blog, which is Power Dynamics blog, blogspot.com. Okay. So every code, every details in stepwise and all you can find in my blog as well. So now let's move towards our content, which is part one. Okay, so first of all let's go through each. See, whenever you are going with the plugin registration tool, you need to have the plugin registration tool. And here see, Power Apps and plugin registration tool both follow this almost the same steps. Only difference is Power Automate give you a model driven app where it opens a form and you can give all the details. But in plugin registration tools, you have to have a plugin registration tool installed, and from there you need to, the GUI is different. Okay. The third one is with code. Here, it is kind of one of the complex part where you need to write the code in .NET and you need to upload it. This will be covering at the last. And the fourth one is the solution file. So basically, we need to create a solution, unmanaged solution. We need to install it and we need to manually hard code all the API's name, their version, their details and all. Okay. So we're covering all in different parts. Now, let's see what they have mentioned here. Create API customization. These are the normal things I'm going to cover, not a problem. Okay. So now, while creating a custom API, one major thing is selecting the binding type. Okay. So whenever you create a custom API, we need to select the binding type. By default, whenever you create, it will be selected as a global. So in our case, we are going to, let's say we are going to retrieve all the cases which are created which are present. So the cases, let's say we do not want to give any request parameter. We just want to retrieve all the cases of a month or all the records. So whenever you do not require any input parameters, that time we are going to use global binding type. Okay. So this type is used whenever when the custom API doesn't interact with any specific table or entity in the dataverse. It operates on general data and doesn't require any specific input or context. So we are going with a global type only. The second type is entity. So this type is used when the custom API expects at least a single record from the specific table as input or output. So it allows the API to perform operations on individual records within that entity. Okay. So here, let's say if there is a name or some value which you want to update it, that time you are going to select the type as entity. The last one is entity collection. So this type is used when the custom API works with a collection of records or multiple records from a specific table. So it generally allows the API to perform operations like creating, retrieving, updating multiple record at once. Okay. So this is the major difference between them. So now without wasting much time, let's go on. The first one, which is the easiest one, which is the Power Apps. So the first video is going to have how to create a custom API and a plugin and how we can register it, how we can create Power Automate with the Power Apps first part. Second part with the plugin registration tool. Third part with the solution file. Fourth one with the code. So now let's see how we can create the custom API using plugin registration tool. So if you click on this one, and create a custom API using plugin registration tool. First of all, you need to have the plugin registration tool and you need to connect with your Dynamics 365. You need to have establish a connection and all. Okay. And let me show you just. Let's come here. Desktop, work folder. Open plugin registration tool. Okay. And now, first of all, we have to create a connection. So just give your username and password, whatever. Okay, display list of organization and click on login. So in the previous video, we have already seen how to create it using the Power Apps and how to associate, register the assembly, all those things. Here we are going to see all those things again. So I'm going with the sales trial. Come here, click on login. Okay, so once you have established the connection, well, let's hold on, let's wait for some time. So it has loaded now, and if you come here, 1 second, let me just expand it. Okay, so by default it will show you this view, okay, which is assembly view. But for creating it, we need to first register a new custom API. So to register a custom API, first of all, we need to go to the register. Okay, so there are two things. First, we need to register it from here under the register a new custom API, and then to view the custom API, you need to go to the view and display by message. Okay, so let's first create the custom API. Click on this one. Okay, in the Power Apps, we were getting that model driven app form kind of interface. There we just give the name and all. Okay, Here we need to give the name here, which is as custom API plugin registration tool. Okay, and the same name we can give here also. Okay, so now the one thing which I forgot is, as in the while creating the custom API using the Power Apps, we need to have a solution. Same here with the plugin registration tool also, you need to have a solution. So either you can use the existing solution or you can create a new solution. Okay, so here I think in the previous video we have already created a solution which was custom API solution. So here what I can do is I can create a new solution for better understanding solution. Let's give it as a custom solution, or instead of this we can use this. Okay, let's create a new one only. Give as custom API custom API solution 2. Okay, and remember, we whatever the this one you are giving, you need to know the prefix of this. So the prefix of this is, just note it down, which is CRFA. Okay, now click on save. Okay, we have created this solution. So coming here, go to your solution, and what is the solution? Okay, we need to current, just now we created it, so it's not reflecting. Let me just cancel it, click it again here, new API, and if I, okay, maybe I need to reload the organization. Just give me a second, I'll refresh and come back. Reload. So this is refreshed. Let's go and click new custom API and see if the solution is visible. Custom API solution. Let me see if the solution is created. Okay, this is created. Refresh it. Should be visible here as well. Create a new solution, API solution. Let me refresh it again. So I have refreshed it again. Let's see if it is reflecting. Okay, so sometimes what happens whenever you create a solution, it takes time to reflect in the plugin registration tool. So let's not waste time and select an existing solution, which is Rajni's solution. And if you come here, let's see if there is any component. There are no any component inside this solution. Okay. So now coming here, let's give it as a name, similar name like custom API, and it should be plugin registration tool. Okay, same name. And remember one more thing here, there in the while creating the Power App, we gave the prefix name, but here it is taken by default. Whatever the solution you take, it will take by default here. Okay, see, it's taking as default. So Rajni solution, and the name what we are going to give is custom API. Okay, CUSTOM custom API. Okay. Now, in the Power App also, first what we did, we registered, we created the custom API and then the response parameter, and then we created the plugin. After creating the plugin, we need to come back here and we need to assign the assembly and the plugin later on. So first, let's create this one. After creating the plugin, we'll come back and we'll assign the assembly here. Okay. So this two part, leave it as it is. You can, it's like a drop down field. You can select your registered plugin from here. Okay. Now the difference is in the here you can see in the Power App also we have the option to choose global entity and entity collection. Okay, let it be global only, and either you can register it. But before registering it, I want to give a response parameter as well, because we gave in the Power Apps as well. We do not need any request parameter because we are not giving any request parameter. We just want to retrieve all the data. So in the response parameter, just give the name as API response. Okay, and I'm going to give the unique name as same API response, API response, and it is of type string. Okay, this is an add. I'm going to register it. So now we have created a it's invalid component, the same export key value. Okay, so in the previous video we created a custom API with the same name, CRFA custom API. Okay, so we cannot have the duplicates name here. So now we need to change the name, and let's give it as a 2. Okay, and remember in here we have given the API response. Okay, so this is all it matters. We need to keep this in the plugin as well to give the response. So update and click on register. unique name is custom API2 for this. Okay, so now we have registered the custom API. Now in order to view it, by default it will show you the assembly view. Let me just extend it. And you need to go here, drop down and display by message. So you can see your registered custom API here. It may take some time to refresh it. Okay, now you can see the custom API. So previously we created custom API which should be visible here as well. All the custom API will be visible here. See you. Okay, so the previous one was custom API. The second one is custom API 2. The third is going to be custom API 3. Okay, now here you can just go here and see all these things. Okay, now coming to our previous part of creating a plugin and assigning it to the assembly and that plugin. Okay, so we'll be creating the plugin now. So for that you need to have a Visual Studio. So let's open the Visual Studio and check the requirement. So let's open the Visual Studio, and in the Visual Studio we are going to create a plugin project now. Okay, so for creating this plugin we need to have a .NET of version 4.6.2. Okay, so create a new project of .NET Framework Library with this one. Okay, click on next, and let's give a name as Dynamics Power. Okay, and source repo. Okay, everything is fine. Okay, so now once you create it, first of all you need to have the assemblies to create. If you know, if you have worked with the plugin earlier, we need to have the assemblies. So first of all, let's add the assemblies. Go to manage new with package manager, coming here, and it should be xrm.sdk, xrm.sdk something, core assemblies, this one. Okay, install it, accept it. Okay, now this is done. So coming here, I'm just going to, right now it's installing the background, I'm going to delete this class file, delete it. Okay, and going to create a new class file, which is add new item class, and let's give some meaningful name as custom API example. Okay, so let's add it. Okay, done. So the namespace is Dynamics Power Custom API example. Okay, so now I have already created a code for this, which I'm going to show you and explain you everything. Okay, first of all, we need to have the execution context, organization context. We need to know the entity logical name. So for my case, I'm going to retrieve all the cases. So the logical name is generally incident. If you're going with the account or contact or whatever opportunity lead, you need to have that logical name, schema name of that. Okay, so let me just copy and paste it here, the code coming. Okay, let me just first note on the Dynamics Power. Okay, control V. Okay, so in case if you have not installed that XRM SDK assembly, it's going to throw you error, but right now you can see there is zero error. Okay, and in this code there is one more extra requirement I'm going to show you after. Let me first explain this one. So in this code, one second, let me just, okay. So in this code, we are using this namespace, which is Dynamics Power. Okay. And it should be of, by default, it will be class, but we need to make it as a public class in order to use it. Okay. Now, this execute method is nothing but the entry point for the plugin execution. It takes the iService provider parameter, and generally it is provided the Dynamics 365 platform itself. Okay, so this execute method, this organization method, hold on, these are the normal setup. Okay, now the main thing is entity name. Here this is, you should know. Let's say if I come here and if I go to, where is it, not this one. Okay, you need to know the schema name. So just open any record and go to your this extension, not this one. Let me just 1 second. Let's say I'm opening any account record. Okay, just this is the easy way to get the entity schema name. Okay, so open this one. Once the record is opened, go to this one. This is PowerPoint and entity info. Okay, you copy this entity name and paste it here in the logical name. Okay, so it's going to affect only for this schema name in entity logical name. Okay, now here I'm using the link query to retrieve the case properties, case details and all. You can use fetch XML or some link query, anything and you can use, it's yours. Right now I'm using link query. Okay, so here you can see it is retrieving all the case records. Okay, currently it is of static code equal to 0. Okay, this is a normal case state code. Here, let's say if you're having 10,000 or 15,000 records and you want to filter it using, you want to see which is created just today, then this is the extra property which I have added, like date and time. It should be created on today, and this is some format of that. Okay, so you can add any filter condition by month, by year or anything. Okay, and you can add it, but right now I'm just going to get all the cases here, and I'm getting the case title, created on, and case name, because these are the major details which we want to see for the case details. Okay, now we are executing the query. Okay, this is taking the to list, and now we are giving the response here. Okay, so whatever the case title, case by and all, it will be given in the response as I showed you in the first part. The case title, name, everything in the string value. But this is just for the understanding purpose. If you want to use the objects, I have the code for that as well. I'm going to show you after this one. So for the code, what we need to do is, instead of this one, wait, first let me finish this. We can use that object, and we can send the response in JSON format, which can be used in other places as well. But right now we are showing only in the string for your understanding. Now just the main thing is a response. Here see, if you want to put the case title, case name and all separating, these are, I have just commented it, not required. Right now I'm just going to say the case name and case title. If you want to say created by, created on, anything, you can put it here, and this is for separating a new line. Okay, that's all. And here this is API response. If you remember, while creating the custom API, we created API response parameter as well. Here we gave API response. This was the name. So that name exactly should match here. Okay. Now what we are going to do is we are going to save it. Okay. Before saving it, we need to sign in the assembly. Okay. If you try to register the assembly without signing in, it's going to throw you an error and not going to register it. So just click on this one and click on properties, signing, sign in the assembly, and give new, let's give the name as custom API plugin. Click on OK, custom API example. Okay, now let's save it and build it. Yeah. So build is successful. Okay, one second. Okay, so the build is successful, and this is the one. Okay, let me just register it, and I'm going to show you how we can use the objects as well here. Okay, so now we need to open the plugin registration tool. So just come here, plugin registration, sorry, not this one, plugin registration tool. Okay, we need to create a connection in this playlist of organization. Okay, login, select your environment, login. Okay, now we need to register the assembly. If you remember earlier, we have created a custom API, but we have not assigned the assembly there. So first, after registering this, we are going to assign the assembly as well. So loading the messages, it may take few seconds for this. So this is loaded. Let's come here, register new assembly. Okay, if you can see here, one second, let me just close it. You can see here, you can see the option of register new custom API as well. Okay, so from here itself, from the plugin registration tool, we can create a new custom API. So register new assembly, click here, Let's give our path, and here Dynamics Power is our plugin. Click on OK, select it, and so it give you an option. Okay, so now the assembly is registered. Our plugin is ready to give the logic of retrieving all the cases. So once the plugin is ready, now we are going to attach it to our custom API. Okay, so now let's start. Check whether this is working or not. So once we have registered the plugin, now with the plugin registration tool, if you come here, we need to assign this here. We have earlier we have left this assembly and plugin, right? So let's come back here and assign it, go to the view, okay? And we need to assign this Dynamics Power plugin assembly to that custom API. So our custom API was custom API 2 for the plugin, okay? So custom API, scroll down, okay? Custom API 2, okay, that's fine. Come open this, okay, wait, okay, opened here. Now you can see custom API 2, this is fine, this is fine, and we are going to, what is the name? Dynamics Power, okay, and here Dynamics API, okay. So already we have given the response parameter as well here, which is API response, okay. Cancel it, and now I'm going to update it. Okay, so now we are done. So we have created the custom API. We created the solution. We created the custom parameter plugin, registered the plugin, and assigned it as well. So now our next step will be how we can invoke the custom API. Our custom API is ready. We just need to invoke it. There are different ways we can invoke it using the Power Automate or the Postman, or there are different ways. So I'm going to use the Power Automate. Okay, so we'll create the Power Automate and we'll use some connectors. Okay, okay. So let's once verify whether this recurrence parameter and all this custom API has been registered or not. It was our Rajni solution, and in this one, if you can see API response and API response plugin registration tool, both are visible. Okay, so now it's complete done. Let's focus on creating the Power Automate. So to create a Power Automate, first of all, you need to have a license of creating Power Automate. Okay, so either you can create it into the same solution to invoke this custom API, or you can go to the Power Automate flow page here. Okay, and let's test it whether it is resulting the result or not. Okay, let's go to my flows. I'm going to create a new auto instant cloud flow. Let's give a name as Dynamics Power. Okay, give it a Rajneesh, and I'm going to trigger it as manually. Okay, so click on create. And now here we do not need any more connectors, just one connector is enough. Let's go to the old designer form, and what we need to perform an outbound action. Okay, so click on, see if you have any input parameter or not, you can just click on this one, add an input, but right now we are not giving any input, right? So Microsoft Dataverse and select outbound action, perform an okay unbound action, sorry. Click on this. Now here, what is the response name? See, if we come here in the plugin, what we created the plugin Dynamics Power, and the response name is API response, right? So we need to select exactly the same name here. So coming here, and let's select it, API. Okay, sorry, we do not need to give the API response, but the unique name of the our API. Okay, so let's say I have created multiple API. One is for Power Apps, one is for plugin registration tool, and the third one is for solution file. So whatever you choose, both of them are will be connected to the same plugin. Whatever we have registered here, right? This Power Dynamics, it's going to be the same plugin, but just with a different unique name of the custom API. So I'm just going to select a name CR. What was it? Oh, okay. So I'm going to select the first one. All are having the same. So let's taste it now. Save it. Taste it manually. Okay. Let's run the flow. And let's see if it's returning any value or not. Okay, so your flow has run successfully. If you come here, you can see there are total four cases. Okay, and if I come here to the account, let's see how many cases are there total. If you go here to the cases, it's loading. Let's wait. Okay, so here we have total four cases. If you go to all cases, actually total four cases only. So it's showing four. Now, in case if there is multiple thousand of records and all, you can just add some filter criteria here. Okay, right now I've just commented it. If you want, you can use for today or month or by day, whatever you want, you can add it. So this is currently it is returning. What it is returning? It's returning the string. If you can see, case name we have given manually and the case title and all, but not all the details. So right now it is for Power Apps. Now let's say if you want to select it for API 3, okay, which is for I have created for solution. Okay, so let's just check it. Click on test. All see we can have multiple API, but with which plugin it is associated. The Dynamics Power, right? So whether it is with the Power Apps or with the plugin registration tool or with the solution files, if it is related with the same plugin, then it's going to give you the correct result only. Okay. So it all depends on the logic of the plugin. So let's just save and test. Okay, here also it is returning, and I think it's going to give you the same result. Okay, so now this is done. What we have learned here is how to create a plugin and register it. Sorry, how to create a custom API and all. Okay, so before that, before ending the video, let me show you one more, give you one more tips here. So right now we are returning just the string. Okay, now let's see if you want to use the objects. Okay, objects in this, and you want to return in the JSON format because that may be used for other purpose and all. Okay, so for that, what you can do is we can simply build and return the response objects. Okay, so first of all, in order to send the response in JSON, we need to have the here like how we added that NuGet package, right, of XRM SDK. Same way, first of all, we need to add here one package which is called, I think, using it's Newton soft. Yeah, Newton EWT sorry, Newton soft dot JSON. Okay, okay. Right now it is not recognizing. So what you need to do is you need to add the assembly. Okay, just add the assembly. Manage NuGet package manager. Click on Dynamics. Okay, sorry, that's right. Paste it. And this one, install it. Okay. So there are different ways which we can through which we can call this custom API. Okay, there are different literally ways we can use with the external API and sorry any other tools. We can get this. We can get the URL and we can paste there and we can retrieve all the records. Okay, that one I'll be covering in another video. So right now let's see whether okay now you can see this this error is gone. Okay, so instead of using here these things are fine, the link query we do not need to update anything. The main thing is here string. Okay, what we are doing is we have this string response, so this one we need to change. What we need to use is, let me just copy and paste it. I have already written the code, so here paste this one. Okay, and okay, let me just copy and paste the whole code only instead of this one. Control V here. 1 second. So created by and created on. So we just need to comment it because we are not using this filter of created by and created on, right? So what I need to do now is just save it, rebuild the solution. Okay. And now currently it is giving you, it is in a string format, right? Now once we upload this assembly, once we update it, it's going to give you in the JSON format if the plugin is correct. Okay. So here this view is okay, fine. Let's come to Dynamics Power, our assembly. Okay, I'm going to update it. Select it. Okay, I'm just giving another way. And after this, I'm going to show you there are what are other things I'm going to cover in another video. Okay, just hold on for 1 minute. And now I'm just going to rerun this one. Okay, so test it. Okay, it has triggered successfully. Your flow is running. Okay. Okay, now if we see here, now you can see the format has changed. Okay, now this is in JSON format. Okay, a name, this you can just copy and paste it somewhere. Now you can see CRF, this API 3, 1, 2, all are having same only. It's all associated with the same plugin, so no need to get confusion and all. Now we just summarize the whole process. What we did is we created the custom API. Where is it? One second. Here we have custom API. One second. So we created a custom API using Power Apps first in the first video. Then I have already published another video which is using plugin registration tool, and the third one is with the solution files. Okay, and in all of them we created one plugin, we registered it, and we created custom API, the response property, and then we assigned that plugin assembly to this plugin type if in all those three. Okay, first, second, and three, because we need to in order to execute that API, we need to have some plugin registered with that. Okay, once it is registered, and make sure that it is of type global to retrieve all the cases, and you have given the unique name for all the custom API. Okay, like same here, you can see the custom API name is CRFA custom API 123 and all, and it should always start with the prefix. If you are giving not giving this one, then I already showed you, it will throw you some error. Okay, after creating that, in the normal Power Apps, we just associated it, and we created a Power Automate flow to test it. But in the plugin registration tool, we created this API using this from here, from the view. Okay, from the view we placed, you can check the part 2 for that. And for the third part, which is this one, where we downloaded an unmanaged solution and we unpacked it, and then we again manually created this custom API folder here with the unique name. And inside this one we have the response property, the custom AI, where we need to change the version of the app and the property, the names, the plugin GUID, we need to give it here. You can see, not in this one. Here we have it. Okay, the GUID. This is in part 3. So I have already covered everything, part 1, part 2, and part 3, which you can refer. And in case if you want to get the code of this plugin, whatever I have written, all the codes, it will be posted into my blog, which is blogspot.com. If you come here, I'll be sharing it soon, which is okay, currently this is another one. So here I post all the different kinds of whatever videos I post. You can find the code here. Okay, and I have also prepared a document which I'll be sharing in the description. You can see custom API, what is custom API, what are the different types with each step, and with this snapshot and all. I have already covered it. You can see, you can get all the materials. And if you have any doubts, you can post in the comment sections and let me know. Okay. Thank you all for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.